So, Isaiah channels his inner Nathan here when he asks him, what do I do? Now, for those of you who don't remember who Nathan is, that was David's trusted advisor. And he tripped up David in the same way when David had his affair with Bathsheba. And he said, if a rich man who has all kinds of goats steals the one goat from a poor man, has this man sinned, and what should happen to him? And David said, well, of course he sinned, and he should be killed. He should be stoned. And David looked at him and said, you're it. You're that man. It's exactly what Isaiah did here to these people. He said, guys, you're the vineyard. And God's fed up with you. He's going to tear you apart. In verse 7 it says, for the vineyard of the Lord is the house of Israel. Now here, he's not meaning just the northern kingdom. He means Israel collective, the entire thing. Israel and Judah. And you can tell that because he says it following it, men of Judah his delightful plant. So Israel and Judah are together in this. You both sinned. You both committed high crimes against God. For those of you who remember the 80s TV program, Different Strokes, this is what we would call a, what you talking about, Willis, moment. Like, what? We? Us? The children of God? As I alluded to earlier. Yeah, us. The children of God. Me, Pastor, Mike, Dick, Tabitha. And everybody out there who claims they're a believer. While our personal walk may be right on the money, where it's supposed to be, the church collectively is not. And earlier when we were talking, I said, all I can do is control my own actions. I can't control the actions of anybody else. But our actions can influence other people.
Amen. Amen.
The church does not expect judgment. Israel did not expect judgment. But if we don't stand firmly on our convictions, on our beliefs in the character of God, that we have to maintain the character of God and hold true to that our lives aren't changed by God. We're just as guilty as the fly-by-night Christian who shows up at church on Sunday and goes home and continues to live their life as a worldly person. Harsh words, I know, because we are responsible for ourselves. The Bible also says we're responsible for each other. And to cement this, Isaiah, he used a literary trick using similar words. The Hebrew words are very similar sounding to each other in the last part of verse 7, where he says he looked for justice, but behold, bloodshed. Justice, the Hebrew word for justice is mishpat. The Hebrew word for bloodshed is mishpah. So he was telling the people, you guys are getting these words backwards. You're confusing what's going on. Your job here was not to shed blood. Your job here is not to say, I am better than you. Your job here is to bring justice to the people. And we do that by expounding the love of God, by taking the love of God and handing it to somebody. And what is the meaning to life outside of myself? in America today. The meaning of life is me. It's all about me. Me. Well, that's not what it's all about. You know, God makes that perfectly clear. It's about Him. It's about each other. And it's about meeting the needs, the basic needs of others before we meet our wants. And there's hundreds of things out there that we want. You know, I want my own house. Do I need my own house? Yeah, that's debatable. You know, but until society, Christian or secular, Christian or non-Christian, realize that justice cannot be found until we decide that meeting those basic needs of others before our own wants, we're going to fall into the same pattern as Isaiah talked about with Israel. That we're just going to keep going down this path of selfishness and taking care of myself rather than taking care of each other. And Jesus taught that lesson in the upper room right before his death. When he got down and he washed the servants' feet, the disciples' feet. He said, if you want to be a leader in God's kingdom, you've got to first serve.